Hello developers, welcome back to the channel. It's Chris from Moralis, and in this video we're going to build on the how to create a DEX like Uniswap video that Filip produced just a few weeks ago, because at the end of this excellent tutorial he produced a couple of challenges which were to add some search functionality to the token list and also perhaps even alphabetize it, so when you are searching for a swap it makes it super easy to do. So if we go and take a look at an example, this is what we produced over here, and we have a drop down list which will have the token list alphabetized. You can search for the token that you want to use and then search for the other side of the transaction, for example 1 inch, and provided that you're signed in to MetaMask, you'll be able to then complete that transaction. Obviously you'd need to choose an amount that you want to swap, and then you'll need to sign the transaction once that comes through. So if that loads up, we will see we have insufficient funds for this particular transaction because the gas fee on ETH is so high. It's $88 right now. So I may just edit this and just maybe go to a low gas fee. Okay, well, that would allow us to complete this transaction. We could confirm it, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to pay the best part of $80, $90, which I think is pretty much all this account has in it. It's just a small test account that I use. Yeah, $100. I don't want to pay all of that just to buy one 1 inch token. That seems ridiculous. The functionality was super simple to include. It does make the user experience that much better. And then you can incorporate something like this inside another one of your applications. So for example, I added it into the wallet application that we've been producing in this series over the last few months. And we've just added it in here. So that goes along with your transferring your NFTs, transferring your ETH, or looking at your balances and all of these kinds of extra functions. Now we have the ability to create these swaps. So I'll jump over into the code and we'll go and take a look at how we produce that together. Now at the end of the video, of course, in the description, you will see that you can go to the GitHub link and go and get the code for this tutorial here, the index HTML, the main.js and the style CSS, put those into your own projects and then add your own initialization, so your own server details, and use the most up-to-date initialization code from the docs.moralis.io site. And you'll need to go to the left-hand side, click on Getting Started, and then go to Quick Start. That will probably do that for you. And then on the right-hand side submenu, you will see there is one for Initialize Moralis. So go down to there and choose the most up-to-date snippet for your application. Okay, so let's jump over to Visual Studio Code. Let's start right at the top of this. Here we go. So the server details I've just hidden for now. And if we just go through this, the majority of the code was exactly the same as Filip's tutorial, apart from just a few things which I'll talk you through. So I've added or changed this particular line here. Originally, I think it was just called tokens. I've just added 2 new variables because I want to do something with them, which I'll show you in a second. And we have a list available tokens function. Now that did change. So I've done a couple of things here. First of all, we're still going to be using the Moralis.plugins.1inch.get supported tokens method, which will produce that list of all the different tokens available. And what I then want to do is I want to store the result of that list.tokens into DEX tokens, a global variable. And then this new tokens global variable is going to get the object.values of the DEX tokens variable. And the object.values is a method, and it just returns an array of all of these objects which we get back. I want all of the enumerable property values, and it will return an array of those values. And then with that, we want to sort them. So it's alphabetized, and that uses this sort function. And it just runs this piece of code, which is pretty basic, and it alphabetizes it. So now our new tokens global variable has a list of tokens alphabetized. Okay, from there, it's pretty much the same as Filip's code. I just run a for loop. I think he used a for in, I've used a for each. It's pretty much the same result at the end, and it just generates the token list. So that would be that one. The select token function, I think it was pretty much the same. I just changed the name of tokens to DEX tokens, which did the same thing as before. Render interface was unchanged. The login was unchanged. Open modal, closed modal, get quote function was all unchanged. Try swap, I didn't change that either. And the do swap, I didn't change either. But you'll notice from these functions that there are some very powerful single lines of code, such as the has allowance, such as the approve, and actually creating the swap. So this particular line being the key one, all of which provide a huge amount of work behind the scenes. But really, for you guys, for developing, it's only a few lines of code. You just pass it an object of information and it goes and does all the hard work and heavy lifting for you. And then the last thing I did was this. It was a couple of for loops. And from memory, what I did is I created an add event listener on the token search, which I needed to add into the HTML. So in the HTML, largely unchanged, I added a select.png to the drop-down box of the search, which was, if I just refresh this app, this drop down here, it's just an image that looks like that. And then you can style it to make it a little bit smaller. And then inside the modal at the bottom, I added the, where is it? The input. There we go. Call with an ID of token search. And in our JavaScript, we've just hooked into that token search element, put an event listener on it for a key up. So that's each time you type a key as part of the search, and then it runs this function. So we initialize an empty array. We store our global variable array, our tokens, into this token list just for temporary storage, if you like, just in case we change this, we want to go back to it. We then create a connection to our input, our search input. If the search is blank, then we just, whatever was in here, we just put back into our global variable for new tokens. So it just always resorts back to our full token list. And with our token list, we're going to run a for each loop where we're going to go through each element and go and, for the symbol of each element, find the any tokens that have our search within it and then push it to our new array, which is here. With that array, we're then going to run a second for each loop, which then goes and populates a new list for our tokens. And that's what we will see on the front end. So that's kind of what this runs, and it just automatically runs as a part of the event listener whenever the key up function is triggered. So that's how we did it. And that is the result that we have. And it just works quite nicely as far as filtering through that list of tokens. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be the beginning of a token. It could be any part of the token, as long as it includes what you have that you want to search. If it is in there, then you will find it. So there you have it, guys. Nice and simple. The idea came to us from one of the most recent weekly challenges, as in the Moralis DAO, part of our Discord channel. If you're not already a Moralis mage, go and join that. You'll find the link in the description below. One of the winners for that tutorial, one of the winners of that challenge, I believe, was barely a teenager. So has actually created an incredibly powerful application from their bedroom using Moralis. And just the thought of that blows my mind. That theoretically we knew that it was possible, but now someone actually did it, and this functionality is out there. So super simple to do. All you just have to do is build the front end. We take care of the rest. We can help you level up your developments super quickly with just a few lines of code in most cases. So make sure you get yourself over to the documentation. Keep up to date with the most recent changes that we put up there. And get in touch with us on the forum if you have any problems, and in the Moralis DAO to keep in touch with the community. But guys, we're super excited to see what it is that you're building. We hope you get involved in the weekly coding challenges or when they come out. And we look forward to seeing you guys with us in the next video. Take care.